fabulous fabric from the land of the Five Rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
Man.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Welcome to the Las Vegas Raiders with PharoahNFL.
The prime thing is you have to win. You have to win.
Real Raiders conversations with Raider Nation. Make sure to clock in, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Raiders!
Just like Al Davis said in that intro right there, man, he said the prime thing to do is you got to win at the end of the day. And the Raiders right now, they are struggling. A terrible loss against the Carolina Panthers, one of the worst teams going into the game. Obviously, they made adjustments before the game, and the Raiders didn't do that, So we'll get into all that, man. What's going on, Smoke? What's going on with you, bro?
What's up, bro? What's good?
You can tell Smoke don't want to talk to anybody right now. You know what I mean? But
Smoke wants some smoke right now. With everybody on the damn team and the coaches.
Man, but I appreciate him coming on, man. It's post game, man. We gonna have this conversation. We gonna have this conversation with the nation, man. Appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. We appreciate everybody coming through, man. We got people pulling up left and right. Shield 60 already. Let me oh man, this is all right. Let's get our act together right here. We got he says Shield 60 says Panther coaches and players were gloating the entire game and have every right to. We were embarrassed at technically this is the home opener. I've made jokes about LA being the unofficial home opener, but this is the Raiders home opener. And to be honest with you, I think it was a packed house by Raider fans being the majority. Usually in years past, since they moved to Las Vegas, we've complained about the other team kind of filling out the stadium, and y'all know what it is, man. And I felt like that was just a disservice to the fans that showed up. And to be honest with you, Smoke, I was thinking about going to the game. I was like, man, I was looking at the tickets. I'm like, oh, let me see. Let me look at the tickets real quick. Whew. That was a tough game to watch, man. We got Raider Resistance saying, I refuse to lose to Diddy Jr. next week. Damn. Just like that. I think you're talking about Deshaun Watson and the Browns next week. But before we get into that game, we got to talk about this game. And this game, it was a tough game. Diesel in the building, he says, our defense was asleep today. I don't think they are as good as we think they are, but with the injuries on defense, we are in trouble. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Having Malcolm Kuntz this game would have been big. Having a guy that can win with speed, we don't have that right now. We got a whole lot of Tyree bust Wilson. I mean, I'm calling it right now. I try to remain positive for him. I'm like, you know what, you got to give him some time, but it's just he like, you know, some people are saying, well, he's playing out of position. You know, he's an edge rusher. They need to change him into inside. Like, I'm like, you know, at this point, bro, we drafted him to be that edge rusher, and he's not that. So, I mean, I hope
move him wherever. And bro,
yeah.
don't get me started on him.
Yeah, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Brian Rodriguez says, the organization have drafted bad. I think I could have drafted better than them. I guess that's a shot at Tyree right there, right now, because since we talking about him. And, man, Diesel coming through. Man, we appreciate it coming through, man. And you know what? Let's actually, before we even get into the conversation about what happened today, you know, Antonio Pierce had his post game, you know, so let's actually get into that, man. Huey P pulling up, man. Appreciate you coming through. Raiders, cool. Kevin, a building, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. My guy, man. Appreciate you. All right, man. We got everybody pulling up, man. I just wanted to make sure we had everybody in the building so we could play this. And I want to react with some of y'all might have seen this already, but I just want to. I haven't seen the full entirety. I've heard snippets of it. I know Smoke was playing it backstage. He was playing it a little bit. But were you able to hear the full presser?
I heard about half of it.
Half of it? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So whatever Smoke has to say, man, it's not a real reaction because he already reacted right now. No, I'm just playing. Now, my guy, we gonna go ahead.
I'm saving it for you guys. All
right, for sure. Appreciate it. All right, so let's actually get into the presser. All right, so this is Antonio Pierce after the game.
It's just not good enough. Obviously, the crowd was ready. I appreciate the crowd. Everybody showing up. They did their part. We did not. Scheme wasn't good enough. You know, the design of the plays wasn't good enough today. What we thought was going to work didn't work, and on the grass we didn't execute, nor did we put up forth, to me, the effort that we had put up in games past.
Antonio, you said that you've wanted to be a team that controls the line of scrimmage, and on both sides of the line of scrimmage today, it didn't feel like that was.
No, we got our ass whooped.
Yeah. Any reason? What's the crux of that? Would you say?
We got our ass whooped. We got to put pads on. I don't know. I mean, got to get on the sled. It's the same group that's, you know, for the most part, all come back and same technique, same coaches. It's not a different scheme. So, you know, obviously we're gonna have to coach it better and be some hard asses on the guys, and guys got to take some rough coaching, because that just didn't see that coming on either side of the ball. We thought we had opportunity to run the ball, and we didn't. We didn't do that at all. I mean, we tried.
Hold up. I want to hear what he said right in the beginning. Did he take a shot? That sounded like a shot. That sounded like a
scheme wasn't
good
enough.
Like he.
You know, the design of the play.
Hold up.
Scheme wasn't good enough. You know, the design of the plays wasn't good enough today.
Ooh.
What we thought was going to work didn't work. And on the grass we didn't execute, nor did we. We didn't do that at all. I mean, we tried, and just I would have booed us too. You know, but offensively, defensively, we didn't do a good enough job up front. Not good enough.
Coach, I know you're upset with the performance. How would you rate your concern about the team's effort? It seemed like this is one of the first games under your leadership that the team just didn't seem to show up tonight.
No, they didn't. I think as the game went on, I don't think it was a team. I think there was definitely some individuals that made business decisions, and we'll make business decisions going forward as well.
Antonio, last week there was talk about maybe some disrespect that was happening. Antonio, last week.
Individuals that made business decisions. I don't think it was a team. I think there was definitely some individuals that made business decisions, and we'll make business decisions going forward as well.
Antonio, last week there was talk about maybe some disrespect that was happening nationally and with the point spread, and heard it from the players. But basically what it's asking people to believe in them, and kind of let them down a little bit today. So where does that fall into? You got to earn that belief and that trust needs to be earned on the field.
Yeah, I think the one thing I've always said and spoken to you gentlemen about, and ladies, is being consistent. We're here right now, and that's not what we're fighting for. That's not what we're striving for, and it showed up today. And
not a sign of a good team.
If I could say I saw it coming, I would have told you that, but I didn't see that coming. And inconsistent play is something we just got to constantly keep working on.
It seemed like I know you mentioned the trenches, but in the secondary there were a lot of Panthers just kind of got open over the middle of the field and had a lot of space to run. That's not something that we've really seen a lot of out of this defense. Can you explain those breakdowns?
Yeah, I mean, Played a lot of man in this game, and there's some zone, and want to be tighter coverage. And obviously, listen, gotta give credit to them. They came out here and they put their best foot forward, and we didn't.
AP, this offense, other than a quarter and a half in Baltimore, struggled a little bit. What do you think's the problem, or is it something you got to look at film at?
No, I mean, just P and 10, first and 10. I mean, the next down is probably 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9, majority of the time. So if you can't win on early downs, teams are going to just keep teeing off on us and have their full arsenal of third down menu, and that's really what you're seeing. So until we can do better, either run the ball or be more productive. Let's just say get there. Get some positive plays on first and second down. It's not going to be good, but we'll got to work at it. It's a long season. It's week 3.
I see what you're saying, Smoke.
And we really got to chip away.
You could tell. You don't want to be there.
Aiden O'Connell late in the game. Is that something that might be on the table moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think the game was kind of out of hand, and got 2 quarterbacks that battled. Let the other guy go in there and see what he can do for a little bit.
Coach, what do you take away as some positives of
Nothing.
today's game? Nothing.
Except for the crowd. Thank you, Raider Nation. Appreciate it. Sorry that we didn't come and do our part.
Saw Jackson Powers Johnson playing a little bit of right guard. Was that because of Dylan had the foot injury this week, or was it just kind of the?
That was just the plan. Nothing to do with Dylan. Dylan's been playing really good for us. That's just the side we decided to put him on.
I had a couple questions. It looked like Marcus Epps suffered some sort of lower leg injury at the end of the game. If you had any update on his status?
I just know it's a knee. Probably got to get more evaluation on that one.
And then secondly, I know you mentioned all week, and then even just now you wanted to establish the run this week. But is there a certain point where you guys have to, I won't say abandon the run, but sort of go with a pass first approach if it's just not working?
We got to do something to fix it. I mean, if it's to throw to open up the run, scheme, players, coaching. I mean, I said it before. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and just keep watching it. It's just not good enough. I mean, 3.4, 2 yards last week. That's not us. That's not the identity. That's not what I wanted to look like. That's not what our team is going to be, and we got to work on it.
What do you see in the trenches on defense? Were you happy with the effort on defense in the trenches?
No. I thought today was just bad by all of us. It's a bad day for the Raiders.
Terrible day.
One more. As far as offensively, Gardner out of sync, would you say? What would you see from the offense as far as Gardner early on?
It looked like everything. It started with the run game. Passing game wasn't there. I mean, I got to look, obviously, you're watching your eyes go in different places, but, we had a shot. I mean, there were some things that we wanted to do that showed up. It was here, and then you don't see it for another 10 minutes or 12 minutes or another quarter or even at all. So, just not a good performance by us at all today. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, there you go. There you have it. That was Antonio Pierce after the game. Let me go ahead and put some of these comments here. Man, that was tough, man. When he literally started off the whole pressers calling out basically the offensive coordinator. I mean, he's talking about the scheme. He's calling out. He said he's calling out the scheme and coordinate. I think he's calling out himself. I think that was him just trying to start with himself, accountability and all that. But he also kind of took shots as well, as well as the players too. Because when he said the business decisions, I'm like, God damn.
Well, listen to the choice of words he used. Right, he used scheme. He kind of was like, okay, play it, but I mean, he was pretty blunt, bro. He was pretty blunt.
And that's what I appreciate from Antonio Pierce is the fact that he could be honest. But if we're being honest, that's the guy that you chose. You know what I mean? That's the guy that you chose during the offseason as your offensive coordinator. We knew going into the offseason, we knew that offense needed to improve. And, AP being a defensive-minded head coach, what is one of probably the most important coaching position on that staff outside of obviously their defense, it's going to be the offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? And he chose Luke Getsy. Even though they had a tough performance today with, I think the New Orleans Saints, it was like 12-15 against the Eagles. But Clint Kubiak, early returns look like he's a solid offensive coordinator. He's coming from that, Kyle Shanahan coaching tree. But we're dealing with Luke Getsy here, and the Chicago Bear fan base, they weren't really high on him. They were like saying good luck. They're like, this dude is terrible. His play calling is tough and all that stuff. But AP made the decision to hire him, and to be fair too as well, it wasn't his first choice. It wasn't his first choice, but It is what it is, man. But
I
yeah,
was
man,
about to
like,
say.
yeah, go ahead.
No, which is what I was about to say. I mean, is it his choice or was it something that they just by default had to get him? Because I think initially they wanted Cliff Kingsbury, and then when he left, it was like, do we wait for Clint Kubiak to finish the season, or do we just try to make a rash decision and just pick up somebody, you know? And so I think whether they want to admit it or not, I think it was kind of a default choice. It wasn't it wasn't his first choice.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing the results of that.
Well, even though it wasn't his first choice, he still could have, maybe try to see if he can get. He still had a chance. He still had a shot at getting Clint Kubiak, and hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's the third game of the season. Still a long season. Things could happen. Things could change. I know, this is fresh off the game, so we could be emotional at times watching the game. I'm like, so by Tuesday, I'll probably have a different stance on where this team stands. But right now, offense doesn't look good. The run game doesn't look good. The offensive line doesn't look good. Kuntz's injury looks like it's a huge blow to that defensive line. I felt like when Max kind of looked hurt today, and we got a glimpse. I think someone in the chat mentioned it as well. They said that, hey, I believe it was my guy Austin. He mentioned like this was a glimpse of the Raiders defense outside of Max. And good teams have depth. So I understand Max Crosby is Max Crosby, but damn, man, Max has to play like Superman in order for the Raiders to win. That's why, like, even though after last game we were kind of semi joking around, Max Crosby should win MVP. Because the fact that we were joking around, we know how tough it is for a defensive player to win MVP, but if the Raiders win, it's a big part of it is because of Max Crosby. But
he demands so much attention. Like, you would expect someone else to step up, and it hasn't happened.
Right.
It hasn't happened, especially today. It was terrible, man. Terrible.
Raider Pete says Minshew, even with time, sucked. Max was a zero factor. Injuries. I mean, Max was hurt. I think Max was hurt, man. I'll give Max Crosby benefit of doubt because we know what he's done a week in, week out, playing every snap, and going into the game he was questionable, and they were taking him off the field. And when they were taking Max off the field, it's serious. Whatever he's going through is like he's dealing with something like that's really affecting his play.
I think it was also a combination of both him being injured and then the Panthers offensive line really focusing on him, chipping him, double teaming him. So those two things didn't bode well for him, man.
Right. On top of him not being 100%.
On top of him not being 100%.
Injuries to Mumford and Bowers hurt, but not as bad as Zamir's runs. Oh, man. I made a joke today. I said, hey, maybe Zamir White should move to linebacker. You know what I mean? There might be a position. He is a big dude.
He probably from day one will probably be ahead of the depth chart of Eichenberg.
Bro, he is, I think, I'm going to use this a lot. To be fair, I'm going to use that a lot because I know we're going to be critical today, but he...
Hey, it's okay, bro. Us Raider fans, come on, man. This is a venting place. This is a safe space, and we got to vent, man. This is ridiculous. I've been a fan for so many years, bro, and I called it last show. I think I called it. I said, listen, we cannot take these guys lightly, bro. I've seen this too many times. We get a big dub, and we shock the world, and then we come out and we lay an egg, and then we play to the level of our competition. Mm-hmm. And I was nervous, bro. I was nervous. Mm-hmm. I said we had to start off fast. We had to start off, put them away early. I said if the game was close in the second half, fourth quarter, not a good sign. And it was even worse. They whooped our ass.
Yeah. No, facts. 100%, man. And Diesel said, didn't hear Tyree name called once today. You're right. Actually, he did get his name called for a penalty. He was offside. And that sounds like a joke, but it's the truth. Like he got a
it's sad truth. It's sad truth.
It's
y'all.
the truth. It's actually the truth. I was hella mad. I was like, damn, he was offsides, but they end up getting the first down, so everybody kind of forgets that he was offside because they declined it because they got a big play out of it because the Raiders defense did not show up today. The Raiders did not show up. Home opener, they didn't show up for the fans. One of the beat writers that were at the presser for Antonio Pierce, he had a kind of a good question where he was like, you know what, this is kind of the first time where we noticed the team didn't have the energy that we expected out of this team under you as a coach. And he admitted, like, yeah. And he went on to say that some of these players made business decisions. And we'll make the same business decisions as well. Like, if that's not a shots fired right there, man, I don't know what to tell you. I think that's a shot at the players, whoever that is. Someone's gonna get benched, cut. I don't know who it is, but someone is gonna. I don't know, man.
AP
It didn't sound too good.
And he was letting everybody have it today.
man. But hey, you know what? They should be mad. AP should be mad, and I appreciate that. You want someone who actually cares and wants to win. So I'm glad that he feels that way. I'm glad that he was able to exhibit that. I'm glad he was able to show that. I know a lot of people are like, well, AP, he did go for it on fourth down. I think there's a lot of different issues. We do gotta hold him accountable for some of the decision making, game management, going for it on fourth down. But at that point, he was trying anything to spark this team. But look, he did hire Lou Getsy. I just at the end of the day, like, you gotta stand by that. It is what it is. Like, he calling out the scheme, and we all watched the same game. Coming off, literally, the Raiders had the ball to start the second half. What did they run 3 straight times? They ran the ball
3 and out first drive. Yeah, they ran three straight times. Yeah. I think
2 out of the 3. Like, it was just like, what are you doing? You're down 21-7. You know what I mean? What worked last week? You guys were aggressive, pushing the ball downfield. Minshew was Minshew. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really expecting too much out of him. Like, I know some of y'all Raider fans will be like, hey, look, like, I'm a fan of the team as well, but I'm just saying, like, some of y'all might like, hey, you know what are you talking about? Minshew didn't play terrible, but, like, is he a guy that we can rely on to come back from a large deficit? I don't like the sound of that, And then we go into the season with, the running back situation. It's like we knew that we're going to run the ball with the players that we have on offense, but we didn't do enough to address the guy with the rock, or at least add to that room where we can rely on somebody outside of Zamir. Because it looks like Zamir doesn't fit the zone scheme. Like, it's official. Like, no, not at all. I'm not like, can it get better? Maybe, who knows? But I think it's just, I don't know, 2-yard gain, 1-yard gain.
Try anything. Put Dylan Lobby in. Hey, is he hurt or something or what? Like, put him in. Switch it up.
Yeah.
You gotta switch it up. You can't expect to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results, man. You can't. You gotta switch it up.
JoJo the Ryan says, offensive coordinator. Yeah. Yeah, man. That it was terrible. Like, times where I just did some of the, like, I think he took what AP, and some of it, I think he took what AP had. I'm thinking after the games, AP's just going bad on the coaching staff, and like, we need to stick to the run. Because if you're hearing AP talk last week, he was talking about the offensive line needs to show up, which they need to do, which they didn't this game. He talked about running the football and sticking with it, which the Raiders did, but the timing of it is just not working. I think as we're not a running football team. It just is what it is. Like, and when we tried to push the ball downfield, Devontae Adams decided to leave his hands at the house. Like, he didn't want to. What was going on?
Devontae, I don't know if he had a long night or I don't know what it was, but he did not look like himself.
He was catching the football.
He had some good catches, but he had some crucial drops too.
Yeah, he was catching the football, but it's like he wasn't securing the catch. Like, he had both hands. It wasn't like he was catching the football and he was dropping it. It was all on him. Like, he was catching the football, but credit to the Panthers defense and corners. They were just coming in and stripping them. I mean, one of those strips, I'm not gonna lie, like, it could have been a fumble if you're being, but That's on Devontae. It happened more than once, especially during the first half when we're trying to get something going, and the drive stalls because, the Raiders' number 1 receiver couldn't make the play. So this is a total team effort when it came to the loss, man. The offense, defense, it didn't matter who was out there. Soli says 15 is ass. I agree, bro. That's how I feel too. Hey, y'all not holding back today, man.
Tell us how you really feel. Hey, you know what though? Man, you know what's sad though, Pharaoh? You know what's sad?
Right.
Is you have people flying in from the Bay. You have people from LA.
Yeah.
Las Vegas. And they were showing out. They were showing up and showing out and expecting a way better effort than we saw on the field today, man. That's sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, that's the sad part. And I was actually this close to going to the game, man. I was like looking at tickets. I'm like, all right, let me see if I can make this happen because I'm like, I gotta watch this team. But
me too. But then I looked at my bank account. I'm like, yeah, probably not. I think I'm gonna stay at the house and watch it.
Man, we keeping it honest on Sundays. Carlos Enfuego says, I've been saying it. Getsy's is trash. He's not a offensive coordinator. Whoo, man. I'm gonna be doing that all show right here, man, throwing shots.
You know what Getsy could be good for? He actually, what I really think he could really be good for is handing out some water to the players. Being a water boy on the team, I think he would do a really good job keeping these guys hydrated.
Oh man, you know what? Hey, look, AP seems like a man on a mission. I heard that presser. He did not want to talk to the media. You could just tell by body language. You called it before the show. You were like, hey, his body language, like he didn't want to be there. And I seen exactly what you were saying. And when he was speaking about the team, you could just tell like he didn't hold nothing. He gave the most that any media member would want to use to talk about. He gave them everything they needed because he's honest and transparent. Now it's like, what do the Raiders do from here? What do they do from here? Like how do they improve? They're going to be playing the Browns next week. That's going to be a tough defensive football team. Shout out to Severe. He called it too as well. Like he had one of the things that he said, and I think we talked about it in the last show around the Shield. Make sure to tune in every Fridays. He was like, one of the issues with the Raiders is expectations and not playing to those expectations. We beat the teams that we're not supposed to beat, and then we lose to the teams and that's been a common theme for the Raiders for I don't know how long. How long, bro? How long, man? It's just like, come on, man. Like, at what point is it going to change? And it's more than just the offensive coordinator. Today was a total team effort. I felt like this is defense didn't show up, offense didn't show up. You can get on the coaching staff. A lot of people talking about Getsy. I agree. The play calling was, it was terrible. Berendo Ball Bomber says Raiders did improve their running game percentage to 3 yards a carry. Hey, you know what? That deserves. Hey, we got to clap it up, man. We got to clap.
Positivity.
We got to keep it positive, But
this game came down to, Pharaoh? My bad. You know what it came down to?
Go ahead.
Trenches, bro. The trenches.
Yeah.
We got dominated in the trenches. O-line, D-line. We knew they were going to run the rock the second half, and we still couldn't stop them.
Right.
Offensive line, every time I looked up, Minshew was scrambling for his life. Cole Miller was getting pushed back. I mean, it was terrible, man. It was terrible.
Yeah. If you haven't already, make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, man. If this is the first time joining us, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, man. So I can keep coming back and doing this. Love talking to Raider Nation. I got my guy Smoke here to react to this game, and we're gonna get into it, man. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the box score because you talked about the trenches getting dominated. So let me go ahead and put this up here. Move this to the side. Let's see here. Oh my God, let's see. All right, so let's look at what happened right here. So the Panthers were able to get a total of 437 yards total offense. The Raiders were able to get 331. A lot of this was garbage. This was garbage. They were getting dominated. There's no way around this. A lot of the Raiders statistics that you're looking at right now it just came at the end where the Panthers defense was playing a lot of off coverage. It was giving them little dinks and dunks that they were getting. Still didn't matter. They still got the Raiders weren't able to come back. Obviously, the Panthers had the game in bag, but 131 rush yards. I think we could officially say that our offense, our run defense is a huge concern.
Oh, definitely.
Huge concern. We try to talk about it and be like, you know what? Let's actually let's calm down a little bit. Raiders defense is playing well. They just need to stop giving up those big plays that we gave up maybe in the first game against the Chargers, and a little of that happened against the Ravens. But now Chuba Hubbard and the Panthers offense comes to town, and they weren't really that good. Based off what they did the first couple of games on offense, they didn't do too well. And we made them look like a pretty good offense out there. And, shout out to Andy Dalton. His Raiders domination continues. He's now officially 5-0 against the Raiders. 5-0 against the Raiders all time. 3 touchdowns in the first half. Second half, they was on cruise control, and the Raiders couldn't do anything about it. But, they rushed for 131 yards. I felt like Chuba Hubbard was a factor in the running game and also in the pass game as well. And the Raiders tackling was so sloppy today. It was just,
they were exposing our linebackers, man. And if, like you said, the passing with Chuba Hubbard, he was catching passes. Mm-hmm. They were exposing our linebacker play by throwing to the flat to these running backs, and they were just picking up a gang of yards on us.
Real quick, let's actually look at what Chuba Hubbard was able to do. So he had 21 rushes, 114 yards, 5.4 yards a carry. By the way, Deontay Johnson was killing today. For real. 8 receptions, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. And then Chuba Hubbard right there, second leading receiver. Look at that. He had himself a day, 5 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. So he was able to actually, that was their first touchdown was to Chuba Hubbard. And, look at a total over I think that's over 160, 170 yards of total offense right there. Man, they came in with a plan and they dominated. And it's crazy. This is Raider fan trauma right now, is that we knew going in oh man, this is going to be a trap game. We called it. We were
people didn't want to accept it. They're like, I said, listen, man, you cannot take these guys lightly. I've seen this too many times.
Yeah.
I had hope. I did have hope because AP's the coach. I had hope that we wouldn't let the team down, or he wouldn't let the team down. But, yeah, brother, it was bad. Jacorian Bennett, man, he had himself a pretty second half. It didn't look too good.
You know what? Jacorian Bennett looks improved. He looks improved from what he did last year, but he did give plays. Deontay Johnson was out there balling, but I'll say that was a combination of, he was giving up plays, but that defensive line wasn't getting any pressure.
Facts. Andy Dalton had all day to throw. That's true.
Did Andy Dalton get sacked today? I think he might have got sacked one time.
He got sacked, I think, once or twice.
He got sacked once. So let's actually look at that real quick. Let's see. We got sacks allowed twice. He allowed twice. But I felt like overall watching the game, Andy Dalton had a nice little pocket to throw from. He had a lot of time in the pocket.
I think that might be AP calling you to see if you want to be an offensive coordinator. If you want to take over the job.
Hey man, I'll keep it real now. Raider Nation, I would not. I'm such a big Raider fan that I wouldn't want to be a coach. I wouldn't want to do it. I'm like, hell no. We need to get someone.
I play Madden. I think I do a better job.
We got to get someone way more qualified in that building, man. I'll probably fire some people. I'll do that. Let me to be the guy. You gotta go. You can stay. You know what I mean? But yeah. Now we
Andy Dalton, first QB to throw for 300 yards this season. He was dotting us up. All game.
So hold up. First QB in the NFL to throw for 300 yards, or
I
first
believe
QB?
he was the first QB to throw for 300 yards this season. I believe. Maybe you can fact check that, but check it out.
I think he might have been one of the first. I think Caleb Williams might have had 300 yards today.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Passing has been down. That's the crazy thing is that passing has been down all around the NFL. But I felt like today, like I said, the Raiders were like, passing's down. Well, let's get it up then. Let's go ahead and
like
allow
some 500 yards today.
Right. But yeah, just looking at third down efficiency. See, a lot of this is 3 for 11. That's not going to get it done. Right? It looks like they didn't get this doesn't look, but they were getting good plays in first and second down. So like this didn't really matter. But
time of possession, they did 36 minutes.
That's huge.
I feel like the first half we only ran a handful of plays. I feel like the Panthers were on the field for the majority of the first half.
Panthers defense was well rested. They were just teeing off against the Raiders offense, and the Raiders offense wasn't helping by some of the play calling. You know what I mean? Just literally trying to run the football when it's not there, or the guys either it's a combination of the blocking ain't there, or Zamir is missing. He's not making the right read. He's not really because I felt like, and you could speak to this as well. Like you felt like Zamir was going to be better than this. What we're seeing right now, based off last season. If we're going off how this season finished and the way Zamir was running the football, he looks like a completely different running back. And like I said, a lot has to do with him not fitting in that zone scheme. But that's on the Raiders, man. Like at the end of the day, that's the decision they made. Like if you're going to go with zone scheme and you got a running back that's not accustomed to playing that, then wouldn't you think that you probably get some guys in the building that would fit that scheme? I mean, part of that was Madison, but that's not good enough. Madison's not going to get it done. He's not going to push Zamir or carry the load. So it's like,
I believe we ran power last year, right? We ran power scheme, right? Last year, I believe, and then they switched it to zone this year. So I don't think he's a zone running back. He's not shifty enough, and if you notice, he's just a north and south runner.
Right.
And that's not going to cut it, especially in a zone blocking scheme like that. You have to have the vision. You got to make some guys miss, and that's not him.
Yeah. But look, like I think, sometimes the stats don't really tell the whole story because, a lot of teams can get a lot of, they can get garbage time points or garbage time yard and all that type of stuff. But you guys can actually tell by the, time of possession what the Raiders offense is really doing. Nothing. A lot of 3 and outs. Gave a lot of rest when it comes to their defense. Their defense was able to get some rest because the Panthers offense was able to move the ball down the fields, put some points on the board. Literally, the score was 21-7 at halftime. The final score was 36-22, but it was 21-7 at halftime. Dalton had 3 touchdowns. Man, it's tough game, tough loss all the way around. You can't really pinpoint. Some people say, a lot of people are talking about Lou Getsy. A lot of people are talking about, a combination. I feel like it was just a team loss at the end of the day. Like it wasn't really one that you can say, oh, this is the reason why we lost. Nah, like this is a team loss. I felt like the Raiders as a whole didn't show up, and you could tell by Antonio Pierce's reaction during the presser, like he was calling out everybody when it came to players, coaches. It didn't matter.
Carlson missing a field goal, special teams too.
Exactly, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, look, let's actually look at some of. Let's see. Let's take a look here. Some of the. Let's see what people did on. Let's see. We got Chuba Hubbard going for 21 carries, 114 yards. We talked about that. Deontay Johnson was just getting open left and right. It didn't matter who was guarding him. Leggett, I know he had a big pass play in the first half. For them to score, I think right before the half, I believe. I don't know if someone could probably let me know. But let's look at the Raiders, right? Minshew, 18 for 28, 214 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He just wasn't impacting the game. Like it wasn't nothing. He had that big play to Trey Tucker. And to be fair, guys like Devontae Adams didn't really help him out because he had like 2 or 3 catches that he couldn't make and bring in. Yeah, man, it was a tough game all around. We just got done talking about Zamir White. I know he needs to get more carries than 10 carries, but if you're not running the football efficiently, and then we're going down by point, like literally we're going 3 and out, something has to change. Madison wasn't any better, but go ahead.
I was gonna say about Minshew. He's a solid quarterback if you give him some time, but he's not the type of quarterback that could cover up a bad offensive line. If your offensive line is terrible, but you got a quarterback that can kind of cover for that, that's different. Minshew's not that guy. He can move around in the pocket and whatnot, but he's not a guy like Lamar Jackson had he's been behind some terrible lines, but he's able to cover it up with his athleticism and creating plays. And Minshew's not that kind of quarterback. So if he doesn't get a clean pocket or he's under pressure, then he's not the type of quarterback that could cover up for those mistakes.
Nah, no facts. That's the state of the Raiders quarterback position right now, is the fact that like they don't have a quarterback that can carry them. That's just is what it is, which is totally fine. But in order to have that type of situation at quarterback, you got to have a good defense. You got to have things around that quarterback to be successful and win some games. Raiders right now, defensively, they kind of showed up the first couple of games, but at times would give up some big plays here and there. Ravens was a huge win, but this game, like I said, it was a total team loss. The Raiders defense didn't show up. Raiders offense obviously just continued to just do what they did the first couple of games. It just felt like the play calling wasn't there. The offensive line, nothing is going. It just feels it kind of feels like last season a little bit, low key. The Raiders offense just not the inability to get something going, move the ball, have sustainable drives. Trey Tucker, though, was able, we're going to look at some positive things here. Trey Tucker was able to get 7 catches, 96 yards, a touchdown, But, he did have that big play with Minshew. Jacoby has some catches here, but, garbage time.
Garbage time
right here. Look, going into the game, my bad, man. This is going into the game. The Panthers defense gave up a lot of yards against tight ends. And we're like, oh, man, we got Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers going into the game. But guess what? You look at the final stat line, Brock Bowers had, 3 catches, 41 yards. Wasn't able, they weren't able to get him. Non-factor. And then you look at it from also Michael Mayer, he did have that opportunity. I remember there was a pass play. Minshew missed him. But they eventually scored a touchdown on that drive. But there was a play where I seen that Mayer was targeted. They weren't able to get him involved. Man, I'm looking at some of these guys here. Michael Mayer did have 1 catch. My bad right here. 1 catch for 7 yards. All right, there you go. But this is I think it's going to be tough though if you think about it. Look, you got Trey Tucker, Jacoby, Brock, Devontae. It's going to be hard to get some targets, but you called it though. You said Trey Tucker was going to have a game.
Yeah,
you called it.
I said he'd have a little breakout game.
Yeah,
because he was quiet the first 2 games, and I thought he'd break out and have some big catches today, which he did.
Yeah,
but wasn't enough.
But let's get into the chat real quick. Dan Dittmer says business decisions played like they owed somebody. Yeah, facts, man.
No juice. Did you notice that, Pharaoh, or was it just me? I feel like the whole team just didn't have any juice, bro. Like they just flat, no energy.
Yeah.
Stuff that we saw that we didn't see last week in Baltimore.
That's something that we would expect from like a McDaniels coach team. A McDaniels coach team, that was like that's what we grew to expect from McDaniels, was the fact that the team was not going to come with a whole lot of energy and they'll have a performance like this. So it's kind of surprising, and that's why like that reporter in the presser asked him that question, like, what are you going to do about it? And this is what Dan is talking about, business decisions. AP made it seem like there's going to be some changes. Some of these players that wanted to take the day off might not might get the long day off. You know, they might get that vacation. They might get that early vacation. So we'll see. We'll see. JoJo says the offensive coordinator is going to get fired. He's calling it. He said the offensive coordinator is going to get fired. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's early. It's early.
It's 3 games early. Into the season.
It's early.
It could change, but if it continues like this, I can see it happening.
Cool Kev says AP says I can't be friends with these players anymore. Business decisions. Woo.
Facts.
Yeah, man. That might be the case, bro. Like that's probably what he's talking about. What we got? Let's see. We got Raider Pete again. He says, "Hey, AP, business decisions today affect decisions on you tomorrow. Seat will be red hot if you don't turn this around next week, even without your starting DNs." Man, it's hard, man. That's tough, man. I feel like a coach needs more than 1 year. Even with McDaniels got more than 1 year. The reason why McDaniels got fired, and I'm talking about McDaniels, is because he was the last head coach, so we can use him as an example. Was because I think McDaniels was an exception to the rule. He was just a wrong head coach for this team. It showed. He didn't live up to expectations. Your offensive coach, we didn't have, and our team offensively had all types of pieces, and we couldn't do anything on offense, right? So he got fired. Now you got AP. I feel like you got to give AP more than 1 year. So it's hard for me to say that, he's on the hot seat, but I can see why you're saying that because Mark Davis, we don't know the contract details. We don't know the contract details of AP. Is it a 1 year deal? Is it a 2 year deal? So we'll keep an eye on that. Cool Kev is saying Getsy might be gone before KC. Oh man, damn! I don't know about that.
You hear that? Did you hear that? I think that's Getsy packing his bags, baby.
Oh, damn.
He's going to Cancun. No, just kidding.
Hey, man, everybody is on Getsy's head right now. They are like going, man, it's all bad for him. But I don't think it's 100% on Getsy. I'm not going into the season. I wasn't 100% on Lou Getsy just because of what he did with the Chicago Bears. It wasn't like a great offense. You know, he was able to develop a running offense, but you probably could say that was probably all Justin Fields because he was at quarterback. Because you know how if you have a running quarterback, that kind of makes the running the football stats a little bit better. But
right.
So it is what it is. But I think today's loss was more than Getsy. I felt like it was a team effort. I felt like the defense didn't show up, the entire offense didn't show up. Like you just mentioned it right now, like the energy of the team wasn't there, you know. We got Bolt Lightning. What is Bolt Lightning? Hey, this is I don't know, man. We got to see your Raider card. I don't know if you could Hold on. He said the Panthers want to thank you for that. What? Oh, hell no.
Hey,
oh my God! Hey, Bo, I'm gonna have to. You know what? I was thinking about blocking you. I'm thinking about blocking you. So I'm thinking about blocking you. I'm thinking about blocking you. So don't tempt me. The number says I'm not going to any games in Las Vegas. Whew, man. Hey, man, I feel you, bro. I feel you. Some of these fans is. They want their refund, man. They want their refund right now at this point. That it was terrible. It was terrible. I was at the house watching the game, so I know for me it was I didn't lose any money. Lose some time.
I can't imagine. Flight, hotel, tickets. Oh man.
Yeah.
Terrible.
No, facts. But just off topic real quick, or on topic since we played the Panthers, Dalton making look he's making Bryce Young look like he is straight trash. Like the fact that they were one of the worst offenses in the NFL coming in, if not the worst. I think they were 31 or 32nd. They're one or the other. Either way, we could say worst offense, right? Coming into the game.
Bottom tier, yeah.
Bottom tier. One of the worst teams in the NFL. Running the football, passing the football. They were terrible. Dalton comes in, and they look like a completely different team. It's not even close. It's night and day. Bryce Young, man, like
every time they panned to him during the game, he looked like he was just like, damn, it's a wrap for me.
No, it's second year in the league, bro. I think he just needs some time.
Yeah, he's got time. He's got time to turn it around. But I think he knows, like, as far as this season goes, they're gonna roll with Andy Dalton. Yeah. Because
now the whole locker room knows. Now the whole locker room knows, like, hey, you weren't getting it done. It was you. It wasn't the offensive line. It wasn't the receivers. It wasn't the coaching staff. We put a different player there, and he looked way better than you. The offense looked way better. So that was a big move for Dan Canellis to make that move to bench in his first year at head coach. You know, he's a new head coach and doesn't have a whole lot of experience, but he went ahead and made that move, and now he was proved right by that move by Andy Dalton playing well. So the Panthers,
Andy Dalton was playing like it was his last chance in the league, which it could have been. The way he was playing, he took advantage of his opportunity. He was dropping dimes, man.
Hey, Smoke, maybe you can answer this because I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I'm gonna watch some of the games a little bit later, or catch up on some of these games. You said Stafford and the Rams had a great game, great comeback against the Niners, and were able to win that game. The number says, should we trade for Stafford?
I caught the tail end of the game because I saw the Niners were up. And I flipped it back to the game, and it was tied, and they ended up pulling it off. But as far as Stafford, 100%. I would trade for Stafford in a heartbeat.
Yeah, man. Stafford's nice.
Take Tyree Wilson.
Yeah.
Take Luke Getsy with him. I mean,
no, Stafford's
proven winner, bro.
Yeah.
He's a proven winner.
He's a good QB. He's definitely a good QB. Way better than what we have in the building for sure. 100%. But I don't know what that contract looked like, though. Contract might be a little tough, you know. And we need to build some depth. We need to build this team. And once you bring in a quarterback like that, they're going to take a whole lot of cap space. So that means the draft picks become even more valuable. You got to hit on them. And if we're going off history, Raiders draft picks.
I'm about to say, I'm getting PTSD from Carson Palmer, quarterback that's a vet, that's been in the league. Hey, we don't want that to happen again.
But this completely different situation. Stafford is playing well. Palmer, if you remember, he wasn't playing for the Bengals. I think he didn't want to play for the team. Like, they literally called him at the house when he's on the couch, like, "Hey, we want to trade for you." You know, I'm just playing around, but I don't think he was playing at the time when he got traded. So different situation. But Stafford, he definitely would be a nice QB if the Raiders are being aggressive. They want to win now. I can see it happening, but if we're being honest, like, how long does Stafford got? And on top of that, it's going to take a whole lot of cap space. But, you know, it is what it is, man. At this point, we could use all the help that we need. D-Moke says this was hard to watch, man. Facts. Yeah, it was tough. Because you see it coming. Like, the first half, I'm holding out hope. I'm watching the game, but I'm just like, damn. Like, they really...
Bro, the first drive of the game, they go down, march down the field, and score a touchdown. That set the whole precedent for the rest of the game.
Yeah. Jeff Kreiser, man, it's just simple as this, man. Make a business decision and fire Getsy. Whew, man, everybody right now is on Getsy's head right now. They want Getsy out of there. I don't want to say I told y'all so, but I'm just saying this. You know what I mean? This is like during the offseason, though. And I did try to keep it positive, like. Yeah, but I did say, like, hey, I didn't want Getsy. Out of all the OC options that were out there, I thought Getsy was probably the worst one that we could have went after, just because I just didn't like what he did as an offensive play caller with the Bears. I just didn't like it at all. And Raiders, for some reason, they went after it. They could have went a lot of different directions. They could have went with Clint Kubiak. They could have went with, their first option was your boy out there with the Commanders. But I don't know if the Commanders' offense is looking too good this early in the season. I'm not sure if they're looking. But that being said, trigger warning says Stafford ain't budge. What you mean? He ain't budge. Stafford ain't budge.
When he made the comeback, probably he was talking about how they came back.
Yeah, I gotta watch it, man. I heard it was crazy. or was it crazy? And you know what? I like when the Niners lose. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
That was the positivity. That's the only bright spot of today.
Yeah, the Broncos, the Donkeys did win today. I think they won their game. So it's like
They won. Chargers lost.
Chargers did lose. Hopefully, the Chiefs lose as well. Yep, TKC calling it right now. He says Chiefs need to lose. Yep, that would make my day a little bit better. We are last in the division. We're tied for last. We're tied for third. Let's be positive. Just a little bit. Terry says people can kill me. I don't care. We need to trade Adams. He's not what he used to be. He needs to be traded before teams realize it. And Colton is washed. Whoo, damn. I don't know.
I wouldn't say Devontae. I mean, I wouldn't say he's trash or he's washed. I think he had a bad game, bro. Like, I mean, he's usually Mr. Automatic, and this is part of the game, bro. Sometimes he has a bad day, you know, and today was one of them. But you would expect others to step in and help him out, you know.
Yeah.
And then as far as Colton Miller, I think Colton Miller, him missing OTAs, training camp, him not being fully healthy, him being thrown into week 1, he's still trying to get his legs up under him, and you could tell he's missing that time really affected him because he's getting pushed around everywhere.
All right, so no, facts. I agree that Adams. I don't think it's a little too early. I think the issues on offense are bigger than just Adams. I think his mistakes hurt so much because the offense ain't playing up to what they need to play to, and meaning that we got all this talent and we're not able to move the football and we're not able to get some points. Like, so when Adams make mistakes, it's like it hurts because it's like, damn, like who do we go to at this point? Like, you know, that's our go-to guy, that's our number one guy. So when he's not necessarily dropping passes, but if he's not securing catches, because he was able to catch the football, but he was letting the Panthers defenders to knock the ball out of his hands, almost looked like a fumble on one of the catches. But I don't think it's 100% on Adams. I think Adams made mistakes. He contributed to the loss, and he needs to be accountable for that. He'll play better. I'm sure he'll play better, but I don't think. Man, it's hard because I've heard that talk too. I've heard people say that to me and say, you know what, the Raiders should trade him now so they can get some value now before he starts declining. That's gonna be tough. I don't think the Raiders are gonna do that. I don't know if Telesco is gonna be. I don't know how that would affect the locker room, the team. That's like literally that's a shot to the team. The team we would have to literally lose all our games up until the trade deadline for that to happen. To be honest,
right? It's only week 3. You gotta give it time. I mean, if it's midway through the year, if we're like 3 and whatever 8 or whatever 2 wins, I mean, then okay, maybe. But like you said, that would affect the whole locker room too, man. Like, he's a leader.
Yeah, no facts. We got man, we got people pulling up left and right. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We appreciate everybody coming through. One way to support the show so we can keep coming back and doing this, man, is by hitting the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, it's first time joining us, hit that subscribe button. And also hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. We do post games. It's not every week, but I do a show every Tuesday, 50-50 show. Every Friday we drop Around the Shield. And obviously we do post game from time to time. And my guy, Raider Smoke, is able to join us, man, and talk some Raider football, man. We appreciate him coming through. Make sure to head over to his channel as you see on the screen, Raider Smoke 89. Go ahead and follow him on social media, Instagram as well as YouTube. Raider Smoke, my guy, is on the up and up right now, so make sure to support my guy. But we appreciate everybody coming through. We got people pulling up left and right. M Easy says defense needs to get more heat from the fan base. I agree. They didn't show up. We talked about it. They didn't show up. The defensive line was able to get pressure. I think Smoke talked about the trenches. We lost the game in the trenches, and usually that's what happens when teams win. Sometimes it starts there, and Raiders offensive line didn't get done. Raiders defensive line didn't get done, and the rest is history. I felt like the Panthers dominated. So defense definitely didn't show up, and that's not something that we're accustomed to seeing with this team. I mean, Smoke, like, Do you feel like it's going to get better? Do you what do you foresee happening? I mean, it sounded like AP made it seem like some guys are going to get, benched. I mean, I can't even. Who would you think would get? Is it Tyree? Is it Tyree going to be holding a clipboard or something? Like, I'm trying to figure out, like,
Tyree's going to be right there with Luke Getzey handing out some water. But you know what? It's hard for the defense to stay on the field as long as they are, especially with the offense, going 3 and out. It's tough, man. And I would say the first 2 weeks, okay, maybe it was an anomaly that, hey, we're not really good at the run. Okay, maybe they'll pick it up week 3. And the fact that they got gashed again in the run game, it goes to show you, like, man, this could be a problem for the Raiders going forward, man. Like, games 3, 4, 5, you start to see who you are as a team. And right now, we're not very good against the run. And I thought we'd be a lot better than we look going into week 3 on defense. We were expected to be one of the top 10 defenses, and right now, Panthers with the Andy Dalton put up 36? Was it 36 on us today? Come on, man.
36.
Got to be better than that.
He improves to 5-0 against the Raiders, 3 touchdowns in the first half. If it was probably more a competitive game, he might have had more. Who knows? But the way the Raiders defense played, it's unacceptable. That's not going to get it done. And the reason why we got to talk about the Raiders defense as well as the offense is because we know in order for the Raiders to win as they're currently constructed for this year, defense they have to play well. Like they literally, that's how the team is built. Defense plays well. Offense has to, not make a lot of mistakes, score some points, make some plays, but the defense is going to hold it down. So far, we haven't seen that from that. I wouldn't say we haven't seen that, but we haven't seen a complete game from this team, even a complete game from the defense, if you really think about it, because we'll see one good half, and then we'll see some big plays, especially in the run game, because that run defense, it's a huge weakness. And I think that's what MZ is talking about. He's talking about that run defense. He's talking about it went from – because when you can't stop the run, it makes you weak against the pass. Yep. You know what I mean? You're pretty much going to set yourself up for that play action and a lot of big plays, and the rest is history. So hopefully they make some adjustments and they can play better. And I think they will. I think not having Max out there, that it really showed. And not having Kuntz out there really shows. So you're losing your 2 starting edge rushers at times. I mean, Max was out there, but not fully out there, if y'all know what I'm getting to. I mean, if you want to speak to that, like, can they get better? I mean, is there a move? Are the Raiders going to be making a move? Telesco, can you not be conservative and make an aggressive move and try to maybe sign Ngakwe? And I know a lot of people talk about his run defense, but hey, he can get after he can get out as a pass rusher in obvious passing situations. Maybe that might be a guy that the Raiders pick up. Who knows?
Oh, he can't get any worse in the run game, so that's whatever. I mean, we need to get pressure on the quarterback, and we're starting to see that there's a big drop off from Kuntz to Snowden. I mean, it's a pretty big drop off. I mean, Max is getting double teamed, chipped. Christian Wilkins, they're paying attention to him. You would think that either Tyree or somebody else would step up, and that's not the case. And we're starting to see that that Malcolm Kuntz injury, man, is really affecting this team, bro. Like, going into the season, this was going to be his breakout year. His contract year. We thought he'd be on the opposite side of Max, eating and going crazy. But, yeah, I think lack of depth. And then we signed Chason, and he hasn't even – I didn't even see him play. I thought they maybe might give him some run and let him get in there and go after it, but
maybe that might be an adjustment that the Raiders need to make, but it's almost, that's the roll of a dice. We don't know what to expect from him. He was a former first-round pick. Obviously, he's not been hasn't lived up to that status, and that's why he was available. But maybe the Raiders can unlock something out of him, maybe find a role for him where he can help the team, especially with the way this team is constructed. If, Max is taking all that pressure, obviously Christian Wilkins was able to get his first sack of the season. That's a plus. And Wilkins is doing all the little things as well. But I'll tell you this, man, like that run defense, you kind of have to put that defensive line on. It's a defensive line. It's the entire team right now they're not getting the job done. TKC says, I wonder if Cliff saw something bad with this. We didn't have a quarterback. Bottom line.
Yeah.
I think he was like, all right, I'm going to be an OC. AP's hiring me. And then he just looked at the Raiders quarterbacks and he's like, they're picking 13 and the best quarterbacks are going to be available in the top 3. The Commanders just called. if we're being honest, like, look,
he was about to sign the contract. They gave him the pen. He asked one more time. He said, "Who's gonna be the quarterback?" He said, "Minshew." I'm out of here.
I don't know if you heard this, but I heard Magic Johnson, who's part of the ownership group for the Commanders. I heard he gave him a call, and he was able to. Yeah, that was
last minute lure him in, right? Yeah,
that's what I heard too. I'm like, damn, man, and I wanted Magic too because I heard there were rumblings that Magic was interested in becoming one of the owners for the Raiders or getting into ownership. And I was like, hey, I like that because wherever
he makes things happen.
He makes things happen. I think he's one of the owners for the Dodgers. You all see what the Dodgers are doing. They're winning. I think they won a World Series not too long ago. So, and hey, now he's with the Commanders. We'll see what they do, what happens there. But man, that's a whole different conversation. Raider Ray in the building, my guy, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. Raider Ray is in the building. He says, no push, no pressure. Rushed 4 most of the game. Couldn't tackle. Max Crosby clearly is hurt. Offense can't win up front. A lot of problems to figure out. Man. Hey, man. Couldn't said it better myself, man. He called it like he's seen it, but that's exactly what's happening. Like, I just didn't feel like the Raiders were playing their game defensively, like where they were aggressive, getting after the quarterback. And it doesn't help that, we couldn't stop the run. So then, obviously you're not having that team. Even in long distance situations where, okay, this is where the Raiders defensive line can get after it. They weren't necessarily getting any pressure. And, and this is what Raider Ray is speaking to. But yeah, man,
going into the game, I thought we'd have a lot more answers than questions. And now we have a lot more questions than we do answers. And that's not a good look going into week 4.
Yeah, facts. My guy, Daniel Kim in the building said, do you think Getsy gets fired before Halloween? Dude has zero juice, maybe negative juice. Dude looks like a freaking Humpty Dumpty on the sideline. Hey, look, I'm not here to say that I told you so, but I am here to say who made that decision. They got to stand by it because who's going to be the alternative? Not the QB coach. Please don't tell me not the QB coach. Please don't tell me not the QB coach. I mean, hopefully it's somebody else on the staff.
Because the QB coach, hard agree. Nah, he did a better job than Luke Getsy, bro. Like, that's crazy. And he was. You know what? Okay,
dude, like circumstances, Just you're looking at the circumstances.
But given his, he wasn't the offensive coordinator, first time calling plays. Yeah, he had that 0 against the Vikings, and he had some bad games, but. He did put up 63 against the Chargers. I mean, the offense looked pretty unpredictable, dynamic, and yeah, man. So far, it's not looking good for Getsy. But also, like you said, though, O-line, the O-line. If the O-line's not blocking, then you can draw whatever play you want, and nothing's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Night Owl, man. Appreciate you coming through. I already know you heated, man. I know. It's a tough loss, man.
Night Owl, me too, man.
Soul Assassin says, let's just tank at this point. Trade Tay and let's have Crosby cover next season. Whoo, man. That is a strong take. I wouldn't tank. I wouldn't necessarily tank because at that point, like, what are you sending to the team? At that point, that means you're saying that AP is going to get fired, like the whole coaching staff is going to get fired. This is going to be rebuild mode. To be honest with you, when you start tanking, I think it's a clear sign of a rebuild.
Yeah, we're not in a rebuild mode. We're in a win now mode. We're a couple pieces away from being really, really, really good. And just happens to be very important pieces right now.
Right. And I don't think Mark wants to rebuild. I don't think I think Mark wants to reload. He wants to figure this thing out so he can start winning in Vegas.
Yeah, because if you tank, guess who else is going to be out the door? Max. Max not going to want to rebuild and go through the motions again and all that. No, he wants to win. He wants to win now too.
Right.
He's in his prime.
Yeah. And that's why and hey man, if you want him to stay, and I'm sure the Raiders are going to get it done, but it's probably going to be one of the biggest contracts in league history because he did sign a discount deal. If you think about it at the time, like it wasn't like a crazy deal for his caliber play at his age. Right. We all knew that he was one of the best, edge rushers in the league, and he was able to sign that contract. But now I don't know if is he going to give us the Raiders discount? I mean, Raiders got to start winning before he starts handing out discounts again if he does that. But oh man, Max couldn't get any push. Yeah, no, couldn't get any push. Yeah. He didn't look like the same old Max Crosby that he was the first couple of games. So hopefully he gets well soon. Man, look, and that's the thing too, man. Like what Max Crosby has been done with the Raiders is kind of unheard of. Like playing every snap, not getting off the field. Like eventually that stuff is going to catch up to you. So hopefully the Raiders can figure out a plan for him to come in the game and be his normal, active, nonstop motor self. But also, like, he doesn't have to play all the snaps. Like, let's keep him fresh. Let's keep him healthy. Now people see what Mac had to deal with. Oh man, the Raiders have been Raidering for a long time, and they've been struggling for a long time. Hopefully AP can get it together. It's the third game of the season, but
third game of the season. Yeah, let's pump the brakes a little bit. I mean, I know we're emotional. It's a loss that we should have won.
Right.
But I'm hopeful in AP. He's the type of coach and he's the type of guy that, like he said at the presser, man, I'm gonna make some business decisions too. He's not hesitant to he's not gonna hesitate to make changes. He's let it be known that in the past too. So
yeah. I think why we're reacting this way a little bit is because how bad a loss it was. Like it was a blowout loss at home opener against a team that we consider to be a bad team. That's why I think we're reacting. Right. If it would have been a bad loss of either way, if you lose either way, but if it would have been like a close game or like if it was any other team, if it would have been a good team, solid team, and it was a close game, then it would have been all right. You know what? Like the Raiders need to figure that out. We wouldn't be reacting the way we are. But like since it was against the Panthers and they clearly were going into the game were one of the worst teams in the NFL.
What we'll be telling though? What we'll be telling is next week how we bounce back from this game. I'm curious to see how they're going to bounce back at home against the Cleveland Browns. That's where a lot of questions will be answered, and we'll see from this loss how they bounce back.
Yeah. Let's see. So TKC said Joe Alt got hurt. Yeah, and I heard I didn't hear about Joe Alt getting hurt, but I know that Herbert got hurt too.
Ankle. Yep.
Yeah, they said he was walking in a boot after the game, so that's all bad for them. But the Chargers, they got their own problems just like the Raiders do too. So the Raiders got to figure out their issues. I agree, Daniel, man. It's tough watching halfway Cotton QB playing other games and wondering what they do with our weapons. Diablo wasn't even out there today. So for everybody talking about Diablo, this and that and the third, he wasn't even out there. I wasn't a fan of Diablo, but him being out today, we miss his speed covering the flats. Good point. Diesel says Zamir ain't it. Yeah, he's an average running back. I don't think he's anything special. I always thought that a little bit about maybe the way he finished last season kind of gave me a little bit, okay, he can be a good running back. But, look, I mean, and in the fact that he isn't fit the scheme and it just looks like, he's having a tough time adjusting, as well as it's not even just a Zamir or even the skill position players, the offensive line. Hey, let me ask you this. I know Brock Bowers is a player that we're excited about and being a good player for this team moving forward. But looking at the Raiders' offensive line, does it make it that much tougher to explain why? Like, what I mean? We could have went with offensive line at 13. And Fuaga is playing well with the Saints, from what I'm hearing. So
It's something to think about, but
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying,
but
I'm
I
just
think
throwing it
Brock
out
is
there.
gonna be special too. I think Brock is gonna be a hell of a player, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't think that Mayer mixed with Bowers. I don't know. I don't. Maybe they move on from Mayer. Maybe trade him for a lineman or something. Because I think Bowers is the clear number one option at tight end.
Best 15 was Michael Crabtree. Hey, you got a point there.
Recently, yep.
As of recently, yeah. Michael Crabtree was probably the last 15 that was good. But what I'm saying is that sometimes I feel like people watching the game, we like the skill position players, like fans and stuff like that. We like the wide receivers, we like the running backs, we like the tight ends. But hey, at the end of the day, the game is won in the trenches. So, and the offensive line is not getting it done. There's no way around it. Colton Miller is still adjusting. He's still adjusting from coming back from a long, off season of missing, mini camps and training camps. So like he's still adjusting. I think Thayer Mumford went down today. You got the interior right now is struggling. What you got left guard? I think Dylan Parham, did he get benched at one point? I feel like
I don't know. I guess someone asked him at the presser. Someone asked AP at the presser about Parham. I don't know for sure what happened, but yeah, they brought him up in the presser, which was interesting. And then JPJ, I saw him get a snap, and then he just disappeared again. So I don't know if they pulled him out, and I'm not sure. But yeah,
they've been really cautious with JPJ because he literally had missed a lot of time because of a concussion. Finally, they were able to. When he was finally cleared, they even said like, nah, he's not ready. We need to slowly but surely kind of insert him into the lineup. And this week, we thought he was going to be inserted into the starting lineup. I gotta check and see if he actually played the entire game or he only played a few snaps. I don't know what that looked like, but
I believe he played a few snaps. Yeah, he didn't start. They had Whitehead in there, so they brought him in midway through the game or second quarter. I'm not sure when, but yeah, he did see the field, but then they pulled him out again because I didn't see him after that.
Perez says Crosby had a high ankle sprain. He said he'll be fine. High ankle sprains are that if he has a high ankle sprain, that's probably going to take like a few weeks for it to recover, for him to be 100%, especially when you're the way Crosby's an explosive athlete and make, high motor, likes to move around a lot and that's going to be tough.
Pushing off that foot too, if it's his left one.
Yeah.
Is it his left ankle? No, I don't know if it's his left or right.
I'm not sure which ankle it is. I'm not sure which ankle is out there, but Jabril says you want Cam Ward. Hey, Cam Ward looked like he might early favorite to win that Heisman. Who knows, man? Him and the boy out in Colorado, man.
Oh, Shador
Sanders look like
Archie Manning's looking nice too.
He looking nice. All right, man. I'll take your word. That last name is prestigious, so you already know. You already know, man. Tyree was called for lining offside. Yeah, that was one of the only times I heard Tyree's name all game long. Like
he got called. He lined up in the neutral zone, and they then Dalton threw for a big play right after that.
And I knew this was going to happen with Kuntz being out, like basically for a extended period of time, and now we know that he's out for the entire season. So now it makes Tyree and his play like everybody's going to be looking at it. It's going to be under a microscope. And he's just not there yet. I mean, we didn't see it in the preseason. We thought in the offseason he looked like he was showing up to all these pass rusher camps and he was there with Max Crosby. We thought there might be a jump in his play, but we didn't see the impact. We didn't see him in the preseason games, and he was playing well into like the first, second, third quarter. So, and he wasn't really doing too much. And now he's coming into the game, and it's a little bit of the same. So at this point, I don't know, man. I don't think he's going to be that player that we think that he's going to be at picked at number 7. We can hope he can develop into a role player, but as of right now, he's a non-factor. Hopefully he can step it up. Man, we got people pulling up left and right. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We appreciate everybody coming through. Been a great show. We just wanted to come through, have a post-game reaction. TKC says, in some of Josh McDaniels' losses, even we looked better in them. I don't know about this one, man. I don't know about this one. This one is tough. I don't know if I'm with you with this one, man. This one, we gonna have to stop you on that one right there. Josh McDaniels, man, his losses really sucked the energy out of you. You were just like, damn, like this is not getting any better. Like you just felt like he lost the locker room. You felt like it was just bad all the way around.
He had no hope.
Yeah.
He had no hope going forward.
Yeah, man.
At least this loss, you're like, hey, okay, we're hopeful. You know, I have confidence and I'm hopeful in AP that he's the leader that he is and that we can bounce back. But Josh McDaniels was, man, that was terrible.
This was the first loss under AP where I was just like, man, like we didn't show up. Like last year, there was a game where the Raiders lost 3-0. I felt like the Raiders showed up. I just felt like they just weren't good enough to score any points on offense. Like they just, but the defense
never had
showed
to
up.
question the energy or the effort.
Nah, the defense showed up. I mean, it was a 3-0 game, so that they was definitely. If you told me that the defense held the opponent's offense to 3 points, I feel like we're gonna win that game 10 out of 10 times. That was just a free game, and you know, obviously the offense didn't get it done. But this game, it was just like, damn, like it really. This you can say was Josh McDaniels like, but I wouldn't say this looked better. That's a little too far. That's a little too far. You took it too far there, man. TKC, I already know you heated right now, so I know where you're coming from. I'll just keep it at that. And then this one, hey Ray, man, I'm with you. He says, been saying get McAllister involved in running game, former running back, 4.3 speed. Doesn't hurt to try to involve him if you continue to attack behind the line of scrimmage. And on top of that, hey, he looked good returning the football. You know, in a preseason. Why is he not out there returning kicks? Maybe he can, you know, add a little bit of juice. Maybe a possibility he could return one for a touchdown. You know, we need all the touchdowns points that we can get. So I think McAllister should definitely be, in the game. But, you know, he was inactive. He wasn't out there. So he was one of the guys that was inactive. So he wasn't out there. So Ray, I'm with you. We got to try. We got to try something. We got to check.
He would benefit. He would benefit from like a little screen pass. You know, let him utilize his speed. He's shifty. I don't even think Getsy called a screen pass today. Did you see a screen pass? 'Cause I didn't see anything. I mean, you would think that they would use the Panthers' defensive line's aggressiveness to their disadvantage, right? Whenever you see the defensive line be aggressive and they're getting in the backfield so fast, you would think that they would switch it up and throw a little screen pass or something, you know, kind of use it against them. I didn't see any of that today. I didn't see screen passes. I didn't see.
I think they did, but it just didn't work.
Or maybe it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. And on top of that, I thought that, you know, even before, like, let's say the other couple of games, I felt like we threw a little bit too much screens.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like this game, they were able to. I think they threw a couple, but it just wasn't effective at all. And I'm just not a fan. Like just like everybody else is complaining about the play call. It's tough too. At the same time, when the offensive line is getting dominated,
right?
Like the play calling, we can question the play calling too. Like I'm with y'all, but like also the offensive line is getting dominated. So when the offensive line gets dominated, you can't do anything. You can't run the football, and then when you try to drop back and pass, like literally players are getting pushed into Gardner Minshew, and Minshew's supposed to be the mobile guy, right? So imagine a lot of this is for all the AOC guys, right? We should get AOC in there. I think AOC would get sacked left and right, if not turn the ball over, because with the amount of pressure, that Minshew is getting right now. I mean, I was one of the AOC guys. I'm like, hey, look, he's a young guy. Let's see if he can develop. He's accurate. But this offensive line is not protecting the quarterback at all. They're not getting it done at all. So whatever adjustments they need to make, hopefully it gets better. I'm hoping like maybe some chemistry over time. You know, you're getting some guys healthy. You're getting JPJ back. Cole Miller is getting. Hopefully he gets better over time. We'll see, man. Just another DJ says, he says, Hobbs said guys came out there thinking they had the upper hand for no reason, overconfident. What did we say? Let's take it back. What did you say, Smoke, last week? What did you say?
I said you cannot pencil in W's. You cannot overlook this team. We've seen in the past where the Raiders get a big win on the road or get a big win in general, and then they come out the next week and they lay an egg. And we've seen that before many, many times. And so I was nervous going into this game. Like you said, trap game. We couldn't, and then especially when they made the move from Bryce Young to Andy Dalton, I was even more nervous because we've seen in the past when we play against a team and they just start a new quarterback, they end up looking like Tom Brady. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, man. If Hobbs is saying that, I gotta check that out. But obviously, if that's the case, then that's. Would you say that's more on AP and the coaching staff then? Because now the guys, do you feel like that's on them, or do you think that you think it's on the players, or is it both?
Could be. It could be a little bit of both. I think AP in that presser, you could tell he's about to get on some heads this week.
Yeah.
And he's there's gonna be some big changes coming, and I think he's been really like a player's coach, very friendly, very cool with the guys, and I think this week he's gonna be a little bit more hard on these guys, man, and not so friendly, which I think will help.
DJ Lotus 70 says we need to find a QB1. Facts, we do. Hey, Malik Willis, I gotta watch that game, but Malik
Willis, bro.
The Packers, if y'all remember, the Packers traded for Malik Willis at the end of the preseason for a 6th-round pick with the Titans. And he was a former 1st-round pick for the Titans, I believe, or 2nd-rounder, I'm not sure. But one or the other. But he was balling today. I think he had a total of like over 300 yards total offense, something to that effect. Like he was playing well. And he's 2-0 as a starter for the Packers with Jordan Love kind of hurt. And I'm throwing that out there because that could have been a guy that the Raiders can possibly, maybe added to the QB room, especially a guy with that type of athleticism, arm strength, But I think the Raiders' issues, are more than just a quarterback. I think they need to play better on defense. I think the offensive line is probably I think offensive line might be the biggest issue right now, I would say. If I had to rank it.
I believe so.
Yeah, if I had to rank it, offensive line is the biggest issue because we can't run the football, and then when we do drop back and pass, we have all these players that we can, throw down the field with, but the quarterback needs time. Whoever's back there, it doesn't matter who you have back there. The quarterback does need time. Do we have a quarterback that's a game changer? No, we don't, and I think that's going to have to be addressed eventually. But I think the offensive line right now needs to get it together. I mean, hopefully it gets better. Hopefully the Raiders make some moves or, add someone to the starting lineup, shake it up. DJ Glaze was able to get some PT today. I mean, I gotta rewatch the game and see what he looked like. But what did you think of DJ Glaze? Like, did you feel like he was any better than?
I saw a couple. I saw a couple plays where he got beat, which is to be expected, right? He's a rookie. He's being thrown in there. But I think he did a better job than Munford. So I gotta go see the film and go look at the tape and see how he really did. But the plays that I did see, he was getting beat. So I think the whole O-line in general just did not show up today.
Damn, Adam Thielen put everything he had in this game and that catch when he got hurt. Like he literally. Adam Thielen, I think Deontay Johnson was probably their best player on offense. Him and Chuba Hubbard, I'll give them both. And obviously, Dalton balled out as well. So, like, if you want to give him like a MVP of the game for the Panthers, was probably a three team. Like I think it was tied between all three of them because Deontay Johnson was getting open left and right, was making plays in the receiving the football, and then you got Chuba Hubbard receiving the football at the backfield and running the football. So, and then you got Dalton comes in off the bench.
I'd say Andy. Yep. I say Dalton definitely. He cooked us, man. And some of those, I mean, those throws were just dots, bro. He was dotting up the defense.
Yeah. And there were times where like the Raiders did get a little bit of pressure, but it didn't matter. Like he was, like you said, he was throwing dots left and right, man. And I think at this point, you know, Andy Dalton, like I said, man, is 5-0 against the Raiders, man, all time, which is like, come on, man. Like how did like Diesel, I think right here. Yeah. See, am I right? Yeah. Dalton is now 5-0 against us. Yep.
You would think they would have a little bit of a better performance and game plan around that because Andy Dalton played under Marvin Lewis.
Yeah.
For like 8 years. So
yeah,
I was disappointed. Disappointed.
Yeah, definitely disappointed. But like, you know, let's wrap it up, man. Let's actually talk about like, you know, let's move forward. Like, what is it going to look like? So we're going to play the Browns next week. Browns defensively, you know, they're going to be a tough team, physical team to play against. It's going to be at home, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully the Raiders make some adjustments. If y'all heard the presser, we were able to play the presser at the beginning of the show. It sounded like AP is going to be he's going to make some moves. Sound like he's going to hold some people accountable along with himself, I hope. But also he's going to get the right players on a football field. And some of you guys are calling to fire the OC. And I'm with y'all, man. I'm not a huge fan of Getsy, but I don't know if that's the answer. At this point, like, what can we do to him? What is firing Getsy going to do? Who's going to come in and save the day? Like, the Raiders had the entire offseason to prepare for this offense. Like, nothing is going to really change. So we got to, like, and it's the third game of the season, so we almost have to, like, stick with it, and hopefully it gets better. But if they get to a point where they got to fire him, that means the Raiders, I think, are out of, like, playoff contention, something like that, or something to that effect. I mean, I don't think – I seen Daniel said they're going to fire him before Halloween. I'm like, damn. That sounds McDaniels like, because I think McDaniels got fired on Halloween, didn't he?
They might do it again. It was out trick-or-treating. Out trick-or-treating with his kid.
Right, man.
No, but you know what? It's too early, bro. It's week 3. They're not going to fire him. Unless it gets really, really bad, mid-season maybe. But even then, I don't think they'd pull the trigger and let him go.
Raider Ray in a building, man. Appreciate you coming through. He says, few teams have a historical identity. Raiders are one of them. Downhill running and vertical offense. Every time we try to be like everyone else, it fails. This wide zone concept has barely worked for us. Man, hey, man. Ray's just coming with it today, man. We got to get you back on the show, man. We got to get you back on the show, man, and talk your stuff, man. But he's right. He's right. The Raiders do have an identity. You know, the Pittsburgh Steelers have an identity. All these teams got identities. Well, not all these teams, a few teams, like Ray was saying. And I think the Raiders do have that identity of throwing it downfield and running the football. But do we have the personnel? Do you think they made that decision based off the offensive line that we have currently? Because if you look at left tackle, right? Miller, I think he was drafted as a zone scheme left tackle. And then you got Andre James, and then you got Dylan Parham. That's like 3 out of your offensive line. But, you know, they made that decision. They made that call. And I guess I'm more so mad at the decision they made at OC. That's really hurts, because that's the guy that can run that offense that you're talking about, that wide zone. Like, he's coming from that Kyle Shanahan coaching stream. We've seen these offensive coordinators eventually become head coaches. They're coming from the coaching tree of Kyle Shanahan or even a Sean McVay. So we just got to get the right guy. I'm not sure if Getsy's the right guy.
I agree with Ray. I agree with you, Ray. I mean, I agree that, you know, it sounds good, and then that would be great. But like you said, Pharaoh, if we don't have the personnel, then if Bench is taking 3 steps back, you know, he's dropping back 3 steps, and he got 5 defenders in his face. It's not going to work.
Yeah. Let's see. What is this going on? Hold on. I might have to get rid of this guy right here, if he hasn't been blocked already. All right. Okay. Yeah, but we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in. That means hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We appreciate everybody coming through, man. It's been a great show. We just wanted to come through and react to the game. Obviously, it was a tough game. We want to talk about it. It's still early. Let's leave on a positive note, man. It's the third game of the season. If we're being honest, it's the third game of the season. There's still about, 14 games left. A lot can change between now and until the end of the season. But I would be lying to you and say that this wasn't a tough loss, meaning that, like, who the opponent was, it wasn't a great team, and the Raiders got blown out at home. Like, we got to call it like we see it. It was a terrible loss. Hopefully the Raiders look like improve. Pierce made it seem like he's gonna shake things up. He's gonna try to make some adjustments. He was calling out the coaching staff as well. I'm sure he's gonna be calling out himself and the players too. The big quote coming out of that was like, hey, some of these guys are made business decisions, and we will too. So that if that don't say anything to you, then I don't know what will. I think that's gonna.
I've seen that look before in his eyes. That look like my pops when he's ready to whoop some ass. Like,
yeah, no facts, facts, man. And yeah, Daniel, man, I agree, man. It's literally that's the best stadium I've ever been to. The Raider Stadium. I got to go more stadiums, but I feel like that one right there, hands down. Like, I just recently went to, Smoke and I were at the Chargers SoFi Stadium. It's cool. It's all right. I mean, it was the conditions weren't perfect to enjoy that stadium because it was so hot that day. But hey, I'm trying, man. Daniel, I'm trying. But yeah, the conditions were hot, so I couldn't really enjoy that stadium like that. But even so, like, I just like how Allegiant Stadium is built. Like, it feels like it's low to the ground. I feel like wherever you sit in the stadium, you feel like you're on the field, or it just a well built stadium, in my opinion. Obviously, you're inside. You don't have to worry about the weather. But, it's tough for those fans who paid for their tickets and were able to go to watch this team today. I'll tell you that. It was a tough game. It's a tough game, man. But we appreciate everybody coming through. I'm trying to get through the chat, man. If I wasn't able to get to everybody's chat, make sure to leave a comment after the show. Let us know, man, what do you think of this team? How you feel about this team moving forward? How the season can go? What adjustments need to be made? I know a lot of y'all want Luke Getsy fired. Okay, if you want Luke Getsy fired, who's the replacement? Who's the replacement? Let me know in the chat. I want to know. I actually want to know. I want to hear what you guys have to say, man, because I know people are watching are football fans. They know what they're talking about. So make sure to leave a comment and let me know. And let me know who that possible replacement can be if Getsy is fired. Because everybody's calling for Getsy to be fired, but I want to know what the plan is. Okay, where do we go from here? Who's going to be the replacement? We might have somebody on staff. That might be possible. But we'll see, man. Smoke, if you want to let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you guys can find me on YouTube at RaidersSmoke89. I'll be uploading to my channel soon, so be on the lookout for that. And then catch me on the post games here and there, and whenever I'm on with Severe and Pharaoh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, hey, look, we do this. I do a show every Tuesday called a 50-50 show. Make sure to tune in. I'll calm down a little bit. Right now, I'm kind of like, I'm just like everybody else, man. Just like, this is a tough game. I literally watching this game, I was like, come on. Like, how did they come out like this in a home opener at home? We're excited for the game. But hopefully by Tuesday, I got a Tuesday show with my guy Severe called the 50-50 show. By that time, I'll calm down a little bit. We'll be able to talk about what the Raiders can do moving forward and how that would look like. And then also, we drop an episode every Friday called Around the Shield with obviously my guys Severe and Big Mike. Last week we had Raider Smoke come through as a guest host. And yeah, we'll be able to collab again, Smoke. Hopefully we'll do a post game. We've been doing this like we did that last week. Everything's going well, man. I feel like we had a great show today, and we appreciate everybody coming through. So make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit that like button, and head over to Smoke, man. He's out here. He's out here trying to drop some Raiders content. So you want to go ahead and subscribe to his channel and like his upcoming videos and all that good stuff. And also go over to Instagram, right? You said Raider Smoke.
Raider Smoke 89, yep.
There you go. And as well as I'm all over social media PharoahNFL. You can find me anywhere, but also go ahead and follow Around the Shield on either X or just both. Go ahead. If you're on X, go follow on X, and then also on Instagram as well. Around the Shield for your latest Raider content, clips of the show, all that good stuff, because I know a lot of people want to watch clips too. You can find that on this channel, but as well as Instagram as well too. So make sure to check that out. But yeah, man, any last thoughts, anything that you want to let the people know before we head out?
Just be hopeful, nation. Be hopeful. I know it's tough right now. You know, we took that L, but we'll see next Sunday. Let's see what's cooking up this week with AP, man. I'm curious.
Yes, sir, man. Yeah, we gonna be positive. Right now we're like kind of down, but like hopefully by early next week. Like I said, next show, 50-50 show, tune in. Well, I'll be a little bit more positive, but right now I'm just like disgusted by this team. I'll be honest. I'm disgusted.
I ain't gonna lie, me too, bro.
I'm disgusted. But hey, like I said, we appreciate everybody coming through, man. We'll see y'all next time, man. Peace.
Just win, baby. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.